Good evening. It's Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 at 6:02 p.m. Calling the Lakeville Board of Health meeting to order. Is there anyone recording this other than LakeCAM? I hear no one. In accordance with Governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law related to the 2020 coronavirus outbreak emergency, September 16th, 2020 meeting at 6 p.m. Public meeting of the Board of Health shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in progress, please go to www.facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view this meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date. This is Derek Maxim, Chairman of the Lakeville Board of Health. Permit me to confirm that all members, staff, and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, Bob Palucci.
I'm here.
Chris Spratt.
Present.
Edward Cullen, our health agent.
Present.
We have one engineer on tonight, Jamie Bissonette. Are you there?
I'm present.
Okay, and you have two things on the agenda. I'll just make sure whoever is on can hear us. I believe Catherine Pink should be on. Can you hear us, Catherine?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, and Susan Ferrin,
Yes, I can. Thank you.
and I believe Murray is on also for Old Powderhouse Road. Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, is there anyone else on that I'm missing currently? Okay, now that everybody can hear me, first on the agenda, 119 Hemlock Shore Road. Meet with Zenith Consulting Engineers to discuss request local upgrade approvals and variances. I'll let Jamie Bissonette turn it over to you to presentation.
Derek, can I just jump in quick?
Yep.
I see Mr. Murray here, but that got continued, I thought. I'm not prepared for that one. I just don't want him sitting around through a whole meeting if we're not meeting on that. I thought Powder House got continued.
That is correct, Mr. Chair. We'll be asking for a continuance on 4 Old Powder House tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Palucci. Thank you, Jamie.
Okay.
We'll
Thanks,
see you guys
Brian.
next. See you guys next time. Have a nice weekend. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Bob. Okay, Jamie, back to you for 119 Hemlock.
Sure. All right. Good evening, Jamie Bissonette from Zenith Consulting Engineers for the record. If I can point out, Craig is asking for us to ask who the caller is for identification purposes on the message board.
Hello, it's Daniel Moss and Nancy Henderson. We are abutters, and we're just here to listen. We don't have any comments.
Okay. Is that okay, Craig? Are you good? Did you get that name?
Yeah, that works. I just needed to know who the caller was.
Okay. All right. Again, Jamie Bissonette with Zenith Consulting Engineers for the record. Mr. Chair, if I may, I'd like to share the screen so I can pull the plan up.
Yes, go ahead, Jamie.
All right. Thank you. All right. So what we have before you tonight is actually two items. We're proposing a tight tank to replace an existing system, and we're also proposing a new well on site. And we're going to be decommissioning or actually converting the existing well down here to an irrigation style well. I don't know if the board will remember, but in January of this year, I had come in informally and we had discussed the options for well placement and the locations of the tight tank. At that time, we looked at the tight tank, we were looking at options, and we thought that we might go with a fiberglass tight tank made by Aramco. After the client had inquired to a few contractors about the tanks themselves, they felt more comfortable going with a concrete style tank just due to experience that the contractors had installing them. So what we have is a 2,000 gallon monolithic tight tank. The way that we specify these tanks, they would have a riser poured into the top of the tank itself, so that there's not as much of a chance for any type of seepage of water in. Also, we propose rubber boots and gaskets around any pipes and any type of piping that enters in, whether it be electrical conduit or plumbing connections. And then Title V requires a cast iron frame and grate that is secure and watertight. So we ask for a bolted, gasketed cast iron frame and grate to grade. This tight tank itself, for buoyancy, we have a concrete ballast on the top of the tank as well. And we're also, to just ensure water tightness, we're looking to have the additional covers that are built into the tank grouted or epoxied, so that there's just one less space for groundwater or water to get into. And then, so we have the variances or local upgrades with reference to the distance to the pond. This is upgrading from a cesspool, so I think that everybody can agree that that's an improvement. And we also have a proposed well towards the Hemlock Shore side of the property. We're asking for a waiver from the local regulations to be able to put it 5 feet off the property line. And we're also asking for a variance from the setback regulation from 100 to 75 feet from an abutting cesspool. In January, we talked about this. The reasoning for moving of the well, there's a few of them. The most important reason, though, is the location. To get anywhere close to the 100 foot away from the cesspool would require us to put it into their driveway parking area. And we talked about the potential for people to hit it and snow plowing issues. I believe at that time the board and myself felt that it was best to ask for the reduction with the client's blessing to the 75 feet, which they did ask for us to move to that location. So they understand that it's less than the 100 feet, but they felt it would be preferable for parking purposes. And again, the cesspool on the adjacent system is down gradient from the location of the well. So that, I think that's about it for the Board of Health components on this tonight, and I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
Okay, Jamie, thank you. I just have a couple of questions. All the abutters were notified?
That's correct.
Okay. And then on the property to the right, Starkey.
Starkey, yep.
Does that well affect anything to do with their septic? Do they have a new septic there up front, or it's not going to affect them?
No, that's a great question. So probably 2 years ago now, I actually did a tight tank for the Starkeys, and I was in front of the board at that time. I did speak with Mr. Starkey this week. He supported the project and actually asked if I wanted him to join the meeting to voice support for this proposal. And I told him that would not be necessary, but I thanked him for his time. So yes, they do have a tight tank. It's in the vicinity of where our tight tank is. In fact, we used the groundwater data from the test hole on his tight tank for the design of ours with water table, since it was about 30 feet away.
Okay, and they never have any plans of trying to put a future system up near the road on their property?
They put in the tight tank with the restrictions, but his well, actually, at the same time, he proposed a new well, which is up in the same area as ours, but on his lot.
Okay. All right, and then I see it's you're going with a 1-bedroom. That's all that was currently in this house?
It's 1 bedroom, a kitchen area, and a bath.
Okay. I think that was all of my concerns. Bob Palucci, do you have any questions, comments?
No, I'm fine with it. A tight tank's way better than what's going on there now.
Okay, thank you. Chris Spratt, comments?
Yeah, Jamie, was it's perched water table out there, right?
Oh, yeah. That whole side along Pond, Chris, at 2 feet down, the water just comes down like crazy because it's really compact till.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that's what I figured that's what it was, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, when we pulled the test hole next door, it was horrific soil, just really bad.
Yeah. The other thing was the neighbor that the cesspool is 75 feet away from.
Yes.
If they were to upgrade, would it most likely get moved further away too?
Well, that was part of our discussion in the January meeting, and thank you for bringing that up, was the other placement that we could slide up to not have the 5 feet, but the 10 feet to the side property line and be further up. That was one thing that Derek had pointed out, was that would be closer to where they would put a leaching field if they ever did upgrade to one, on the Gallagher site.
But potentially, like this 75 feet could be greater too.
Oh, absolutely could. If they do a tight tank down near the house, I mean, it could easily be 100, and they only need 50 for that.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, I was fine.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Do we have any other comments from anyone online or on Facebook? Comments?
No comments on Facebook.
Okay. Any other comment from anyone on the call with us?
Jamie, one thing I get is, did you guys dig any holes up by the street? I used to have a cottage about 10 houses away from that, and once you got near the street, it was decent material to put a system in.
Yeah, we did not
Just
dig that.
wondered if that well placement in the future, if somebody wanted to put a system in, would stop them or the other neighbors.
Bob, we didn't dig a test hole up there. I know the family uses it now as a cottage. The Pinks themselves, the family, I believe it's the mom owns the house, but all the kids, go there and spend time, and I believe even some grandkids. It's a seasonal. It's really a seasonal place right now.
Okay.
Catherine, am I correct with that?
It is seasonal. It is seasonal. My mother, I don't believe my mother is still on the deed. It's just her daughters.
Oh, okay, that's right. That is right.
Yeah.
So Bob, I guess the long answer to that is no. We didn't try digging test holes up there. I think that they felt like a tight tank from day one.
All right, just so I just wanted them to know it could be an option, because like I said, mine was the exact same layout, and down by the cottage it was all garbage, but when I got up by the street, we were able to put a system in there. So just something that for down the future, if they ever wanted to put a real system in.
Understood. All right, you got that right, Catherine?
I did. So he put a leaching, a full septic in with a leaching field up like in his driveway?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what he's saying, is in his situation, he was able to get a perk the further away from the pond that he got on his cottage. Was it down in the Hemlocks, Bob?
Yep, it was the little blue cottage at the mailbox. You take a right.
Okay.
And that's why that parking is at the top. And right after that, you'll see it's kind of flat before it drops down. And we were able to get some good perks up there, and we put a real septic in. So I just wanted you to know it might be an option for you guys in the future if you want to get away from the tight tank and put a real system in.
It's something to consider down the road, Catherine. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I don't remember you, though.
You don't remember Bob?
Me? I'm quiet. I just blend right in.
I've been down there forever, and it's like, I don't remember that name.
Okay, thank you, Bob. So Jamie, just, if your client does think maybe you'd want to do something different with a well before you go ahead and put that in.
Yep. Yeah, what I'll do is, obviously Catherine is on the phone. It's her, and she has one sister in particular. The two of them I've dealt with more than the other siblings. But that being said, I'm sure Catherine will relay this message. And if they want to make a change before the well gets drilled would be the best time. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. But we'll discuss it before they drill the well.
Okay, and then maybe they could, if they did ever want a future septic up there, they could put it down where the existing well is?
Or even, you can definitely get 100 feet and you can put a well closer towards the house.
Okay. All right, well, we'll just leave it as per plan for now.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, I'm fine. I think everybody's fine with it.
Yep,
Bob,
I'm good.
like to make a motion?
I would, except I don't know how to go back over to the page with the variances. Chris, you want to do it?
I got it. I'll make a motion, we approve the septic repair at, well, tight tank septic repair at 119 Hemlock Shore Road with two local upgrade approvals and 5 variances.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, Bob Palucci,
Aye.
Chris Pratt,
Aye.
Derek Maxim, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Good night.
Next on the agenda was the 4 Old Powder House Road continued discussion from September 2nd, 2020, meeting with Zenith Consulting Engineers to discuss requested variances. They had sent in a letter to continue. Is that correct, Jamie? Is that you?
Yes, please. We would like to request a continuance to the next board meeting. And hopefully, we're hoping to have some updated information for that meeting.
Okay, that is October 7th is our next meeting.
Excellent.
Okay. Somebody like to make a motion to continue that?
I'll make the motion. We continue it to our next meeting on October 7th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, Bob Palucci,
Aye.
Chris Pratt,
Aye.
Derek Maxim, aye.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, an update and discuss the 43D committee. I believe Chris Pratt was on that last night. If you'd like to take it, Chris, an update.
Sure. So, we met last week for our first time, and that first meeting was more of like an organizational and informational meeting. Set up who's the chair, vice chair, go through the guidebook and all that stuff. And during that meeting, it suggested that we put this on our individual agendas and keep it carrying forward until, indefinitely until the committee is, done doing what they're doing. And then last night, we had an informational meeting and met with the developer for the first time. And they gave us an overview of what they're proposing, which I believe there was a digital copy of the packet that was handed out to all of us, was sent to Maureen last night, and that should be posted somewhere on the website if you guys want to see that stuff. It was pretty good informational stuff. The biggest questions I had that would apply to us would be the buffer strip between the Rush Pond Road tenants and the newer tenants to the back. They haven't addressed that yet, but the newer tenants for the 40B developed off the back side of the property, because that'll apply to us because of the noise complaints and light and all that stuff like that. They did say they're looking at 24-hour a day operating, whoever goes in there. So that's a noise thing that's going to fall under us too. We'll see. Speaking of that, one of the things we did ask was that if there was a tenant in mind yet, and they do not have one in place yet, and they didn't really want to discuss it too much beyond that. As far as other things that I think we'll be looking at is, I believe there's some wells out there. There was like a USDA well on site at one point, but that may come up as far as wellhead protection areas that we may have to address. I think the septic, just the proposed location and the size and all that, I don't think it's going to get too complicated. But who knows? We'll see once that comes to us. And the cleanup stuff, I think 99% of that's going to be handled by DEP. So I don't see too much of that coming our way. But the other thing I would bring up too is just I don't know where you guys are at as far as what you've seen, heard as far as the project, and if there was anything you want me to bring up going forward for the next meeting.
Chris, you might want to try to find out when Cisco was going to go there, a ton of time was spent on that. Lighting, there was a ton of time on the trucks, if they were going to idle, how far away from Rush Pond. I mean, a lot of time and stuff was put into that exact issue for that place. So if you could have Maureen check with somebody down there in their proposal, it'd be a good starting point for you guys to dig in when it comes to all that. I mean, we actually toured their plant in Norton when they were going to come down. I was on the board then, and they even had a generator that kicked on every day, and it was so loud that they built a building around it just so for the sound for the neighbors. And you know, in any of their trucks, if they had the freezers on the back that were going to idle, that were going to sit and idle for hours. They were going to be so far away from Rush Pond, and there was a lot of stuff, a lot of boards put a lot of time into, and it'd probably be a great place if you can find that to use it as a starting point for this place, for this project.
Right. So like the main focus of the 43D committee is to make sure, it's like to streamline the process, make sure that they get all the ducks in a row before they submit to each individual board that they need to. So yeah, bringing up some other things, you know, it might be helpful for them to look at that other stuff if their engineers need some guidance maybe on what's already been brought up in the past. They had a traffic engineer with them last night too, and right now the classification they're looking at puts them at, it was 300 and something cars, no, 600 and something cars, vehicles entering and exiting per day. So, and that's just as a warehouse, just under a warehouse like umbrella right now. I don't see it without knowing the tenant. It's harder to say, but we do have a leeway where if the tenants were to change, even if we were okay with a new one, like say 5 years down the road, they moved out and another one moved in. There's their curb cut permit through Mass DOT triggers approvals for some of that stuff, for the traffic flow and stuff like that. But that 24-hour thing, like depending on the tenant that's in there, that, you know, the lighting and the noise, it could be like 1 or 2 trucks at night. You know, the heavy flow could be during the day. We don't know yet. It's still kind of new. But that is a good point to bring up, especially maybe, you know, to them to see.
Now, where are they going to go in and out of? Are they going to put in that set of lights that was approved years ago at the intersection of Bridge Street there?
So there's traffic studies being done now. So, and then I haven't heard anything from DOT as far as if that's going to happen. But it looks like when you look at the proposed plan, you'll see a driveway, that existing curb cut that's between the funeral home and those 2 other lots.
Okay.
They'll probably go in that way and they'll flow around the building and exit on the other side where the existing curb cut is for the hospital now. Okay. That's the plan that they're hoping for. But like I said, the traffic studies they got some existing traffic studies from pre-COVID times. And then the traffic has started to come back. So they're going to try and match them up. Newer studies.
Now, are you looking at the plan I just put up? You can see where I'm talking about, right across the street from, from Bridge Street. There's a curb cut there, and there's actually a couple of electrical boxes there that were all set up to run the lighting, the street lights that was supposed to go there. Is that where they're going in there at that cut, or are they going to go in at the?
So this assessor's is not up to date.
Okay.
There's a lot where that curb cut is that they don't own. Okay. I don't think they own that curb cut. So that strip right now, right here, they come in around, they're coming down that strip that's next to those lots. I don't know if the DOT is going to move forward with Bridge Street. We'll see. And that's one question though that would be a good one. I thought of it last night, but I didn't want to bring it up because it was too early, to see if they were looking to purchase those 2 lots. Also, those other ones they were bought by other people at the auction. So So right now I'd say no, but we are early on in this phase.
Okay. thank
I mean,
you for
600
that.
trips sounds like a lot, but it's dependent on if it's spread out during the day or all at one time. You know what I mean, is what would make the difference on that for the traffic.
The traffic engineer provided for our comparison. Walgreens was over 1,000 a day. Seasons was well over 1,000 a day. It was even higher. And then McDonald's was almost 2,000 a day.
Yeah.
So this is different. It's going to be truck traffic, but there's plenty of businesses out there that have twice as much traffic already, is what they're seeing already right now.
Chris, do we know how much land was left now? Because they've still a lot of land off around this. Cisco is going to be much bigger than what's proposed now. Am I correct for that? Or do we not really know?
You're breaking up a little bit, Derek. It was hard to understand.
Okay, can you hear me now? I just stopped my video.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, just a question on what's left there for land. I know a lot of the property has been sold off around there now, so I'm assuming this is probably a much smaller size building than what Cisco was actually trying to do there, or are we still talking the same size building?
So now the area they have left that they have under agreement is 49 acres, I believe. So it's the main hospital property. So if you're looking at this assessor's map, like lot 17 was sold at auction to someone else. I think the lot next to it was too. Then these two lots between the existing house there and CVS is obviously the funeral home was being built, and one of the other lots was sold at auction. And the stuff off the back, the wetland is owned by the town, I believe. And then you get the stuff off the back. They own this front lot here, the middle lot in between, and then this lot that has the landfill on it that goes out to 79. They're going to clean the whole landfill lot, but they don't plan. I think they're going to use once it's removed, their stormwater area is going to go there, and the main building will be parallel to the line with their Rush Pond Road subdivision.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that was all my questions for now. Seeing we're still in a preliminary stage of the committee. Ed, did you have any questions? Are you out there?
Yeah, no, I have no questions. If Maureen does have a plan, though, I might try to ask her for a copy tomorrow, just so I can look at it some more.
Yeah, it's pretty much, aerial view type stuff and proposed rough, like loose proposed. It's not a defined plan yet by any stretch of the imagination. You did perks out there this week, right?
Yeah, I did perks right by
in front of the existing building, correct?
No, they were actually back here in the corner. If you look on 14 and 16 Rush Pond Road,
yeah,
we're right pretty much here.
Huh.
So it's this back corner that we're doing. So
the proposed plan showed the septic down like in front of the existing building.
Down here?
Yeah.
And well, it's higher up here. I think that's one of the reasons they wanted to go up there.
Yeah.
And like I said, if they're going to put the building here, that would make sense too.
It seems like there's going to be a bit of a cut there to make the building level. Off, the whole site level for that building.
Yeah.
So that might help with some of the sound mitigation and light stuff too. Yeah, they're proposing a 100-foot buffer between the edge of the parking area and the property line with a 8 to 10-foot berm with plantings on top of it. And
we were testing within 100 feet of that property line, so I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, so I did ask him, I said, is this configuration of the building what do you have any other potential configurations? And they said no. So that's interesting.
I'm assuming they're going to obviously be 100 feet off this Rush Pond right here.
Yeah.
So they're, but they're probably only be about 15 feet or 50 feet off, like 14, 16, and 18 is not so much, but for the septic, it would be right about in here. So probably about 50 feet off the property line was closer to where we were. But, maybe they'll move it a little.
Yeah. Or, one thing I thought of when I had asked them about the layout, if they were set in stone on that, and that's why I didn't ask them if they're going to purchase those other 2 lots down front, because then they could, instead of just one rectangle building, they could probably reconfigure the building into an L shape or something and get a little bit further away from the rush pond people. And then maybe put the septic out there, give me even more of a buffer. I don't know. Like I said, it's still early, but I figured, while we get this on the agenda going forward, hear what you guys had to say now, and and things I can bring up at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Do you, when are the meetings? Are they weekly now?
So the next one hadn't been decided yet because they're going to start putting their packet together. And we'll start looking at it to see that it's complete. Maureen's the permit coordinator for the committee and for the overlay district. So as they start submitting stuff, we'll see. It was kind of left up in the air as to when the next meeting will be. I would imagine it would be within the next month or so.
Okay. Well, like you said, we'll keep it on every agenda. If you've had a meeting to update us on it, we'll update. If not, we'll just continue it to the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it under the new business. Under old business, is there any Board of Health items you'd like to discuss? Bob, do you have anything to discuss under pending items?
I'm all set. I'm assuming Ed's going to give a COVID update.
Yes, that's next after we approve the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Chris, anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, we'll go down to review and approve meeting minutes as typed for July 7th. Actually, no, it's July 15th, 2020. July 15th. All 3 members were present.
I'm good with these ones.
Bobby, you good with them?
Yep, I'm all set.
I'll make a motion. We approve the Board of Health meeting minutes dated July 15th, 2020 as typed.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Bob Palucci?
Aye.
Chris Pratt?
Aye.
Derek Maxim? Aye. Okay, next, review and approve meeting minutes as typed from August 5th, 2020. All 3 members were present at that one. I'm fine with this one also. Bob Palucci, you good with it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Chris Pratt,
Yeah, I'm good.
like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Board of Health meeting minutes dated August 5th, 2020 as typed.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, Bob Palucci,
Aye.
Chris Pratt,
Aye.
Derek Maxim, aye. Thank you. Now we'll just go down under announcements. We'll do a update with the EEE and the COVID-19 update. I'll turn it over to Edward Cullen, our health agent, who'd like to do an update for us.
Yeah, for EEE, things are improving, both with the weather. It's getting cooler at night, so the reproduction is going way down. There is still a risk for EEE. After September 15th, it goes down considerably, but there is still a risk. And there's also West Nile virus also, that lasts a little longer than EEE. So that's still out there, although not as dangerous as EEE, but it's still something to be concerned with. So we still recommend, wearing mosquito spray if you're going to be out at night. But overall, things are improving. There was a case, it was about a week and a half ago in Plymouth, town of Plymouth. where there was I think the 4th overall case. So it's still out there. So we still have to be concerned, but overall, we're clearly past the worst of it. So that's good. For COVID, we had a recent outbreak of a number within Lakeville. Lakeville did really good for a long time. We went over a month without any cases. And then we had probably close to over 10 cases within the last couple of weeks. In this last week, we've only had 1 case. So we are getting better. We did have quite a few coming out over the last 3 weeks, but it seems to be doing a little better on this last week. And hopefully if everyone, keeps up their social distancing measures, we can get back to where we weren't getting any cases again. That's the goal. But like I said, it's still out there. It's by no means gone. Just because Lakeville's doing well doesn't mean it's not out there. Obviously, a lot of people are traveling, kids are going back to school. So there is going to be a lot more chance of contracting it now, especially with more people spending time indoors and things like that. So as a whole, the country has been increasing the last week or so. Massachusetts has kind of held steady, but obviously we're affected by what happens in the rest of the country. So for those people who are traveling, that's why we have that travel order. Please respect that travel order. If you do travel, please isolate and or get a test to prove you're negative, and register with the town. Like I said, that helps everyone in the town. Like I said, a lot of people were really trying to stay in the town and stay local and try to limit their things. You're really endangering the rest of the people by going out of state and then coming back to Lakeville and then going about your business as normal. So we ask that you just do take precautions there. But like I said, overall, I think Lakeville has done a good job, and it looks like we're on the right track right now with only 1 case in the last week. Although any case is bad, we are improving.
Thank you for that update, Ed. Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss with the board, Ed?
No, I do not.
Okay. I am all set with everything on my list. Bob Palucci, you all set with everything?
Yeah, I'll just say one more time if anybody watches these things, but it's getting cold out. All the places in town, the outdoor dining is going to be stopping. So I'm just going to ask people. I'm a cheerleader for the local businesses in this town. I just want people to, if they're going to go out, just try to give the business to the local guys, because they're going to have a long winter ahead of them, and we all want them to be there in the spring when we can get back out, hopefully. That's it.
Maybe there'll be a run on outdoor heaters. So if everyone wants to just suck it up and try and keep going to the restaurants, even though it's getting a little cooler out, help them out a little extra.
You can't get propane tanks anymore. They have been selling out.
It's crazy the stuff that's been selling out because of this.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to get wood for my deck.
Good luck.
Right.
All right. Thank you for the update. I'm good if someone like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Bob Palucci?
Aye.
Chris Pratt?
Aye.
Derek Maxim? Aye. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ed.